Sonic, why are you drinking that?
Oh man, I thought this was apple juice. Oh. Bah.
You need to look on the label first.
This is vegetable oil, folks. And I'm going to be doing something interesting. Not drinking vegetable oil. No. I'm going to be making enchiladas. Bienvenidos a nuestra cocina. And we are going to make enchiladas with the following ingredients. I have an entire yellow onion chopped up and ready to go for sauteing. I have some green onion here that I've cut that we're going to be putting on the tops of them. I got 2 pounds of ground turkey and a can of enchilada sauce. Now, also a couple of packages of McCormick's taco seasoning to season the meat. Now, oh yeah, and you can't forget sour cream to go on the top. What am I missing? I'm missing cheese, aren't I? You can't have enchiladas without the cheese. Here's the cheese. We were using sharp cheddar for this recipe. You can use Mexican blend cheese, anything you want to. So let's get this thing started because I'm starving. I am a really hungry guy, so let's get all of our onion chopped up and ready to go in the skillet. We're going to add a good dollop or two, make it a good splash of vegetable oil. A good splash of vegetable oil for sauteing our onion. And we are going to, that's already turned on. And we're going to have, on the side of this, some refried beans. Because it's not a Mexican meal without refried beans. Okay, what we're going to do is wait for this oil to get nice and hot. We're going to stir up our cebollas. That's Mexican for onions. And then what we're going to do, we're going to finish the sauteing the onions. And then we're going to add our ground beef to it. Then we're going to add the taco seasoning when it's browned up and nice. Everything mixed together. And then we're going to drain it off and everything. And then we're going to put it back. Well, let's drain it off first, then add the taco seasoning. That's the way it usually works. But it's going to be good, baby. Oh, yes. Aquí tenemos tortillas. Now, if you're making enchiladas, always go for the corn tortillas. I'm using the light colored corn tortillas, the white corn tortillas for this recipe. So what we're going to do is stir our onions, stir up our cebollas. This is one entire large yellow onion we have in here. And I figure 2 pounds of ground beef should be efficient. Any extra can go into tomorrow's omelet. That's exactly what I intend to do. If there's any left over out of making enchiladas out of these, then it's getting put away for tomorrow's omelet. And that's the beauty part of Mexican cooking. Any leftovers you got, you can put them in practically anything. I'm going to make huevos rancheros with this stuff tomorrow. Now, a lot of you will probably add peppers, and that's fine and dandy because I hate peppers. I can't stand the flavor, I can't stand the texture. The spice don't matter. I can handle the spice. I just can't handle the flavor. So you won't be seeing any peppers in my recipes, and that's a shame too because we've been doing all of these Louisiana recipes, and I can't stand the taste of a pepper. Therefore, I can't really give you the full Louisiana trinity of flavors, which consist of celery, peppers, and onion. Unfortunately, I can't give that to you, but I can only give you the 2 out of 3. And 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Remember what Meatloaf said. Alright, let us go back to our onion. We're going to saute our onion until they're nice and tender. And the oil will help make them brown. Nice golden brown color. Cebollas bonitas. When all of this is finished and we put everything together, then what we're going to do is wrap everything into these tortillas, and then we're going to lay them down seam side down on this big casserole dish. The bigger the better. This is as big as they come. This is a 10.5 by 14.75 casserole dish made by Anchor Hawking, from people who really know how to make these casserole dishes. That and Pyrex. Pyrex is a good brand too. But try to get the biggest that you can find, and if you don't have the biggest, then 2 smaller ones would do. And just as long as you have enough room, you'll be making a lot of enchiladas. And that's the beauty part of Mexican food. You take a few ingredients here and there, and they do go a long way. They do go a long way, folks, if used sparingly. Now you don't want to overcook your beans either, because they will burn at the bottom of that saucepan. So keep on stirring that up and put it at the lowest flame possible, mainly because you don't really need a lot of heat to cook these beans. We're using a temperature of 2. Gas mark 2 on your stovetop. Okay, that's mixed up. That's good. Got our casserole dish on the side. I'm just going to put you back over here, and you better not give me any more trouble, Buster. And, of course, our light sour cream. You probably like regular sour cream, but I like the light stuff. It keeps the weights slim as much as possible, even though, looking at me, I look like I ate a truck. Okay, you see that steam coming up there and little bubbles there? That means stir me! Your beans need to be stirred and settled. It's getting hot in there for those beans. If you see steam shooting up like a geyser like that, it means stir me. And it also means turn down your heat because they have pretty much been cooked. Well, I think these onions are pretty well sauteed. What do you think? So, being very careful because you are handling hot grease and oil. Hot oil on the flesh cannot feel good either. Drain off all of that oil. And I know what you're thinking. You are draining hot oil into the sink? Wouldn't that clog your drain eventually? Not if you run hot water down the drain immediately afterwards. Then it will lessen the risk. Okay, let's pop this back over here again. Alright, let that drain for a while, and while we're thinking about it, run that hot water down your drain. Set this off to the side and just let that hot water just go down the drain. That is going to help break up the grease and help it flow through the system. Once it's out of your system, turn the water off, not a problem. Go to the next step. We are going to open our ground turkey. No ground turkey coming up. Listen to that sizzle. There we go. 2 logs of ground turkey. Now, using the same spoon we used on our onions, let's break this stuff up. This is going to yield probably this entire package of enchiladas. And that's good too, because we are a hungry bunch. We love our Mexican food. We love enchiladas. And you will too. Break it up, break it up, break it up. Now having that oil, some of the recess of the oil in there, will also help brown your beans a little quicker. Because that skillet is so hot, you drop anything in there and we're talking instant cooking. See, look at how the turkey just browns up really quick. So just keep stirring it around and try not to fling it at the camera. But just cook it up nice. Put the scissors away. And let that brown up. Now while we're doing that, let's go over here to our beans because our beans are steaming up. That's good on the beans. Let's turn that off for a little bit and we'll heat those back up when we're ready to serve. Now, a couple of key measures too for your beans. I like my beans with a little shot of Ortega mild taco sauce. It is the best. I love this stuff and you should too. Ortega, remember that name. And for the enchilada sauce, Las Palmas makes some really good enchilada sauce. So we are using many different brands for our cooking. And of course, you cannot beat McCormick's for taco sauce. Now, I know I have many favorite flavors. McCormick's is good. Old El Paso is good. Ortega is good. Just keep on breaking up our meats into one browned mixture. And then we're going to drain this off too. And then everything gets drained off together with the onion and the meats. And if you want to, for good measure, you could put the onions off to the side. So that way, when you drain off your meats, you won't have to break through the onions in order to get that grease drained from your turkey. So let's go ahead and do that next. All right, we got loads of sauteed onions in that bowl. That's looking nice. And that's going to get mixed into our meats when we season our ground turkey. Some of you might even use ground beef. Well, if that's your kind of thing, then who am I to judge? But we are living healthy and we are cooking healthy. And you know my slogan has always been, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. And the same goes for watching what you eat, especially switching red meats to poultry. Poultry products are probably 5 times more healthy I should say up to 5 times more healthy, than your typical red meats. And look at all of that grease and fat. Look at all that just built up there. And that is also a mixture of the oil that got left behind in the skillet. All of this will be drained. And then my technique of making it fat-free is to press the turkey into the colander, draining off as much of that fat as you can get, making it as lean as possible. Now, I know you can buy leaner in the stores. You can buy leaner meats, but you're going to be paying a little bit more price. I say make it lean on your own and spend a lot cheaper on your meats. You know, you can go as lean as possible, but you are going to drain this anyway, so it will become lean. There we go. Look at all that meat. All that glorious, wonderful, good-looking meat. Yes, indeed. Now we are ready to drain. Let's get this drained. Okay, move the fuss out of the way and commence the draining of our turkey meats. Oh yes, with all of that turkey in there. It's beginning to smell like dinner in the old Paw Pet's home. Okay, now, like I said, with the spoon, just gently press into your meats like this. And you hear that meat, you hear that sauce going. All that fat draining out of through the colander into the drain. That's where it belongs. Just keep on pressing until you don't hear any more draining off. And be careful too, because this spoon is not the best in the world. Okay, a little more in the center. A little on the sides here. Alright. I don't hear any more draining off. So, if that having been done, put your now drained meat back into the skillet. Put your colander in the sink, and now you can break this down a bit because it is now compressed. Break this down, break it down, break it down, break it down. And that is some very lean turkey. You see how dry that skillet is? That is a dry skillet. That's exactly what we want. So, let us go ahead and add our taco seasoning with some water. We need 2/3 of water for every packet. So that would mean 1 1/3 cups of water. All added together. That is 1 1/3. Add that water in. Here, because all you had in there was water. Stay. Generic taco seasoning mixes tend to use a lot of sodium. So if you want salty, then get generic. But if you want a little more flavor, then get McCormick's, then get Old El Paso, get Ortega, get Libby's. Any other brands that you have available at your local grocery store, get it. But I do not like the generic kind, because it's too salty for my likeness. And I have tried me many different types of generic, and I just don't like it. It's way too salty. Because that's what makes it generic in the first place, because, well, not only are you buying the name, but some of the generic brands like to cut corners. And in making seasonings, the way they cut corners is using a lot more salts and a lot less of the seasonings. Like the cumin, the paprika, the chili powder, all that stuff is pretty much lessened to make way for the sodium, which is a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper to put together. And that's pretty solid. So now let's add our onions that we have sauteed, and we're going to stir that right into our meats. Every single slice of it. You will encounter some excess oil in your onions. That's alright, just stir that in. The less oil that you got in there, the better. So mix that well in. Try not to knock the onion all over the place until your meats and your onions are well blended and well combined evenly. There's a little spot over here that needs some onions, so just keep on stirring it around and moving it and pushing it, but being very careful not to knock it all over the place, because this stuff does like to fly. Alright, there we go. That is well blended. Look at that. Onion, beef, or ground turkey is what you're using tonight. Turn that off, That's still going? That's okay. Preheat your oven to, come on, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you're ready to stuff your enchiladas. But before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to lightly cook each of these tortillas in oil. The reason being is to make them a little stronger so they don't break apart on you, and to make them a little more flimsy to work with. Now, turn this up because you want this hot. And it only takes just a little bit of oil, so wait till that heats up. And while we're doing that, we're going to come over here and we're going to take our tortillas and either a fork or a pair of tongs. I think I tried with a pair of tongs before, and that should work just fine. You're also going to need some paper towels to drain them once they're done. Okay, I'll just use the rest of them then. And what we'll do is we'll set you aside. Once again, setting that aside, lay down your paper towels because you will need them. Okay. You can feel with your hand how hot that oil is getting, so without further ado, let's get this going. Okay, it's not quite hot enough yet, but by doing this, it will make them firm enough where they won't break on you. And steaming them, because they're corn tortillas, won't really work that well. Okay, just keep on working it on until they're slightly cooked. And I'm out of that. That's why I don't like using tongs too, because I like using a fork. Okay, when it starts to get a little bit firm, pull them right out of there. Lay it down on a paper towel to drain, work on your next one. Okay. Make sure they lie flat. You need these flat. Okay, a little bit on that side, a little bit on that side. You're looking for just about 5 seconds of cooking time for each tortilla. Just as long as they don't turn firm. If you want to make tostadas, then you make them firm. Tostadas are flat, firm, round tortillas. But we are making enchiladas. To make enchiladas, we need to wrap this. Come on. There we go. Doesn't take long to cook a tortilla for enchiladas. Especially when you get your oil nice and hot. Now shake it dry too. Make sure there's no more oil dripping off of there. Okay. Keep on going as much as you can until your paper towel is filled up, and then you can start stuffing them when they're still relatively hot. Not too hot to handle though. You don't want to burn your fingers off. Okay, a little bit on that side, a little bit on that side, and good. Alright, now pat them dry with the towel here. So that way it'll be easier to handle. And you won't burn your fingers off with the oil. I'll just do 4 at a time. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be pretty hot though if you do it right away. Okay, a little stuffing there, and then here's how you fold it. 1, 2, and then, stay. You opened on me. Grab your casserole dish and then put that back there, and then just go 1, 2, meet them at the middle, take the seam end, and place it down. Just like that. And you can see, they're not breaking. Let's grab the next one. Do the same thing. Okay, we'll stuff in there, and then one more time, fold it once, fold it over again like that, and then right over here, seam side down. And keep repeating for as many tortillas as you've got. Pat these now. So, now that you know how to stuff an enchilada, what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to perform a little Mexican magic trick. So if you're ready to help perform it with me, I can use all the help I can get, especially with these tortillas. So, what do you say that we all, with our collective efforts, say the magic words that are going to help us in getting all of this stuffed and ready for the oven as quickly as possible. So, now everybody, with your collective efforts, focus on this dish of which will soon to be filled with enchiladas. Ay, 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 arriba, arriba, dame más comida ahorita, ahorita. Yeah, now that's some really good magic, you know what I'm talking about, Holmes? Now, we not only had enough room for one full casserole dish of enchiladas, but we also had enough to accommodate an extra one. So, this is going to be a lot of enchiladas, and we will probably be needing 2 cans. So, let's open up the first one. Almost there. Okay, está terminó. Now, being very careful what we're going to do with our enchilada sauce. First, we need to find ladle will work. Sure it's well stirred. Shake this well before you open the can though, folks, because it's not supposed to be that thin. It separates. So with the ladle, kind of stir it if you forgot to shake, like I did. Oops. So stir it a little bit with the ladle. I'm going to try to move some of this product around so that way it mixes all as carefully as possible. Now, open that can right up, and with the ladle, we're just going to ladle the sauce right over everything. There we go. Just right over it all. Right over it all. All over it. Cover completely. This is your enchilada sauce. All over it. All over. Get it all over. This is going to be some good enchiladas. All over. Completely cover with enchilada sauce. We might actually have enough for the full ensemble here. I don't know. Let's find out. Right over the top, right over the top. That one just doesn't want to top all the way. There we go. Get right in the corner there. There we go. A little over here, a little over here, a little over here, a little over here, over here. Make sure it's nice and covered. It's the bottom of it will be saucy enough too. I'm just looking for the tops, really. Alright. Alright, now let's top it with some cheese. Now the oven is nice and preheated. We're only going to be cooking this for about 10 minutes. Just until everything is cooked up nice. And take some cheese over the top of that. Just like so. Right over the tops of each and every one of your enchiladas. Now, beans, 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 beans. Stir that. Alright. Open up the oven. And dame esto número uno aquí, y entonces número dos, aquí ponerlo en tu horno, aquí, y cierra la puerta. And now, 10 minutes at 350 degrees, and your enchiladas will be smoking and ready to eat. So let's regroup in about 10 minutes, or maybe even 15, depending on how long it needs to cook, and I'll fill you in on what the finishing results are going to be just after this. I'm waiting. Hello. Well, I guess it's ready now. Let's take a look. Slide it on out. It smells like enchiladas to me. Oh yes, those are cheesy enchiladas. All them out because they is done. This one's done too. Ooh, that's hot too. Real hot. That how we cook enchiladas. Look at that, that is good stuff. Now, to serve them, it's going to be kind of tricky because you don't want to knock out your stuffing from the bottom. With a spatula, make sure that nothing sticks to the edges. And you'll need to take these out since we got them stuffed in there really good. Be careful, grab a plate, and from the dish right to the plate. Just like so. Get off there. 3 hands for this job. There we go. Try to get this other guy off. Not a problem. Get off, get off, get off, get off, get off. They like to stick. They love to stick to that spatula, so maybe if you oil it, grease it up a little bit so they don't stick. Let's see, how many could everybody eat? Let's start off with 5, 4, 4, 5, come on. 5. Okay, I'm going gonna need some extra maybe fork. Now with a fork, this will help scrape it off your spatula like that. Okay, 5 enchiladas per plate. That sounds good to me. And then we just have it on with a side of beans on the side. Terrifico, magnifico, que lindo. Esta comida mexicana está muy bueno y ready for eating. Now, here's a nice little tip for you. Take some sour cream and mix in a little bit of buttermilk. And if you don't have buttermilk, then a little dash of milk. Make it nice and smooth. And then put it in a squirt bottle like this. And then just go like this with the sour cream. Zigzags over the top. Yeah, there's a thick piece in there. Hold on. Shake it up real good. And then with zigzags right across like that. Right across the sour cream. Doesn't that look pretty? And now you're ready to serve. And of course some for the beans. Do not forget that beans need some too. I like that. And finish off with just a touch of Ortega taco sauce on the top of the beans. And probably lessen the amount of cheese that I have for tomorrow's omelet. But spotted cheese on the top of those beans ought to be good too. I love my sauce. I love it everywhere. Alright, that's the end of the sauce. I have one final sprig of cheese over here for my beans, which is not going to leave me any for my omelet, but maybe I can just use mozzarella or just fuck it. And there you have it. Enchiladas! Green onion on the top for garnish, and there you have enchiladas a la Sonic Blue. But don't just take my word for how good this is going to taste in your mouth. Let's get a taste tester and torture him. Oh, Wolf Dog! Hi, Wolf Dog. Well, how would you like to grace us with a little taste testing sensation with these enchiladas?
Hey, your cooking's always good, so...
Well, you never know, there could be a time when it could suck. Let's hope now is not one of those times, because I love Mexican food. Nice stringy cheese. Look at how stringy that cheese is.
Yeah, that is stringy.
And how is it?
Well, it's definitely not one of your times of making bad food.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, I will take Wolf Dog's word on that. Try some of myself.
It's actually spicy.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It's got a good kick to it.
Well, that will be the sauce from the enchilada sauce. Mmm. Really good. It does not suck.
I go with it.
Mmm.
Definitely doesn't.
Very tasty.
Definitely doesn't suck.
So, from all of us here at the Old Papa's Kitchen to all of you out there, if you're cooking good, you're eating good, and you're definitely going to be eating good making these enchiladas. Now, you're definitely eating good if you're also have a flair for Mexican food. I know I got mine. And I'm going to satisfy my craving with enchiladas, and I know I got plenty more to spare. So tune in next time. This is Sonic Blue Darkfold with the rest of the Old Papa's crew saying adios and see you later. Oh! Oh!
Wow,
Ow!
wow, that sounded like it stung.
Ah!
That sounded like it stung.
That one hit me with recoil, man. Oh my god.
Dang, dude.
I'm surprised I still have larynxes anymore. Huh. Huh. Dang.
Oh, that was a powerful. That was a powerful.
Did the windows shutter on that one?
I don't know.
I think I heard a window shutter outside or something. I don't know. Maybe a cat was meowing like next door or something.
And it had some deep bass to it.
Deep bass and acoustic.
That's
and its own drum section. That's going in the bloopers, by the way, isn't it? That's going in the bloopers, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, we'll be going in the bloopers, folks. You'll be seeing that during the rolling credits. Well, this is the rolling credits, technically speaking. And look at that. There's a good word right up there. Let's see that going up. Let's see that. See that? And there's another word. Yeah. Onions stirring. Okay. Whoa! Don't throw that at the cameraman. That's bad. Okay. Look at those onions cook. They're starting to come up nicely. I'm going to leave those cooking for a while because that is fresh oil. And fresh oil, it will take... Oh, hey! Do that again and you're on a timeout.
Second time you did that and I jerked my hand back.
Boy, this episode's going to be loaded with bloopers. If you do drop your spoon, make sure you rinse it off and also dry it because you are dealing with oil. Oil and water, especially hot oil and water, do not make good bedfellows. So, make sure your spoon is clean of water. That is, if you happen to drop it. You ever know why Link never cooks? Da-da-da-da! He'd have to do this every time he gets something. Like, that's nice, Link. I'm glad that you found the bowl, but now can you put it down now and continue cooking? Oh! Round two! Woohoo! Oh, man.